Are we live? No, we're not live. Oh, we are. Wasn't sure. Wasn't sure about if I'm live or not. Right. Happy Thursday. Tis Thursday. Ugh. Helen for You Fit Studio. Just sorting out the state of this desk. And give it some time. Boom. Oh, that's Mel. That was quick. You just having a warm down there, Mel. I've seen Mel on the Met class. Mel does Met. What, Mel? What, Mel? Hey, Lakshmi. All right. Just wait for a couple of people to join us. Oh, I feel like that might be. Is it? Who knows? But someone else has joined. It's on why it's not on that. I can't get my teeth in. Why little wins count? Why, I ask myself, do I create the name of something that's very complicated? Email's not moved since Met. No, and good. It means you did it for real, though. Do you ever get a message come up on you go, what? And you can't do anything about it because you're on live Instagram and Facebook and go, just saw the first two, I just saw the first 3 words of that message. When you get good news, you can't do that about it for half an hour or so. Woo. Right. My face hurts. Right then. Let's get on with it. Because I think it might just be me and the email. You can't go anywhere now for 40 minutes. You committed to this, Mel. You committed to time with me. We could bring you on camera, Mel. We could do that. Might as well. Hey, Sham. Sham is here. Sham, I'm going to give it a couple of minutes because I think people are entertained elsewhere at this moment in time. We haven't got Kate's not even here yet. Right. Alright. Says me. No pen ready. Look at that. Not even there. Okay, so I'm gonna swallow down my teeth and say, why little wins count? Will that be the thing of discussion today? Although it may be a discussion more of a one way. So why little wins count? Okay, let's start with how somebody in general associates a win or what a win is. Why have I put so many W's in this? Jonathan Ross was doing this. It would be a real problem. It's just showing to be a real problem for me. What is a win? Cool whip. So what are wins? I think it's really easy. Not easy. It's usually quite common for someone starting on a journey for health and fitness to see a win as a dropping weight. All the W's. A win is a drop in weight. And somebody can become quite focused on seeing that as the main reason for somebody starting a journey. Or I'm just going to turn my computer off because I'm getting a lot of messages. You may just close something down. All those everywhere. You can see the numbers or a numbers game to be the reason why something is a success, or the reason why something is motivating for them in some way, or a win to be each week I must lose X. And therefore I've won. That would be a win. And if I lose a small amount each week, that is a double W. A weekly win of weight goal. Why do I do it myself? However, as time may continue for somebody, they will start to understand that actually the win or small win is not necessarily always weight related. It may be something else. It may be a small task or a goal or something that sets them on course at a certain point in time. And it's not necessarily the case. If you ever get to sit down with somebody when they're about 3 or 4 months into the journey, actually they may say, oh, do you know what, I've not lost as much, I had it today, I've not lost as much as I thought I would in a week. They'd lost a kilo. I thought it'd be more. Well, let's take stock of what an actual win is in terms of what's reality, and give someone like a context of what's possible in the current environment we're in, generally speaking. And actually what has been a success through the week. So rather than look at the number, actually look at what's changed during this week for you to get this amount of weight loss. What was the changes you made? Where were the victories or the successes that helped you obtain that number over the fact that the number is the overall goal, that is the success, that the win is getting the number and it's not most of the time. In reality, certainly in this period of time, making small adaptations before this, adaptations to lifestyle is enough to get somebody a movement or a victory towards something else. So if you're thinking about what a lot of people are doing right now, so let's paint the landscape, if you will. Let me paint you a picture. So paint a picture of a majority of clients. This is an overarching sweeping statement of which I'm clustering about 200 people. So let's be honest, it's not exactly correct. However, this is a general overview of how it's been. A few weeks in, everything's good. Another few weeks in, I'm not sleeping, haven't ate, not training, I don't know what's going on. Or I'm getting myself together. Or I've gone down again. I'm on the up. And now I'm ready to go. That's like recently. We'll say that's 3 weeks. That's a sweeping statement of 200 people in one go. There in that sentence. Lots of commas in between. So I know it's not the reality. It's a sweeping statement. Now the challenge is that a lot of clients at the moment. Yes, Kate. I know, Kate. Kate, you didn't give me the emoji. At least give me that first before you throw a date at me, because my everything's blowing up. Not literally, it is a little bit. 25th of July. Well, so distracting. You just took me off beam, Kate. There. No, thank you very much. Thank you. You know, you get just go live, Kate, and that happens. Just go live. It's 5 o'clock. There's news. See, I was like Peter off for a minute, going, what? So what do people want? Funnily enough, we're coming to this point. So what are people looking for at this point in time? They are looking for massive wins, because what they want to do is massively turn around where they are at this point, because they're ready. And what's happening is they want to create big wins, as in, right, I'm ready to go. 5 training sessions a week, 2 meals a day, 50,000 steps. These will be my wins. If I get this is my wins, and I want this continuously now for the next 4 weeks. Generally, clients or us as people, we have got the sense of the world is changing, and we want to change rapidly with it. And so we're trying to create a lot of pressure on ourselves to create the big wins, to create the big turnaround, to do a massive 180 on behaviours that we've had installed for 3 months. Okay. So what's actually happening is people are putting a lot of pressure on themselves to achieve the big wins as a big success, to achieve that and get the sense of, like I said earlier, that is the win, that the big win is to go big. A bit like the client who says the big win or the big success is to lose, I don't know, God knows, you want to lose more than a kilo a week, who knows? I don't know, 3 or 4 pounds probably a week, right? That is a level of success if they overachieve on something, like we overachieve on the wins every week. Why do we want to do it? Because I think we just want to get a sense of where we were probably at the beginning of this, or before this, or in the first few weeks, or before that. Is that, you know, to get that faster, or somehow recapture it immediately with a massive win and a massive, right, I'm back in the zone, I'm there. And the reality is that, as per the title of this probably suggests, the reality is what is actually achievable. What is achievable in this environment, or or this situation. And the reality is, it's the little stuff. Now, let's take a standard conversation with a client where we discuss what they're looking for over a week. Now, as much as so many clients at the minute will say all this, they'll say, I want to go big. I'm like, okay. You know what? I don't know why they turned into Darth Vader. I want to go big. I'll just make a normal voice. I want to go big, Helen. I want to do it all. I'm going to do it all now for next month. I'm like, how about we make this a little bit more achievable? And maybe for you, you guys watching, what you sense is more achievable in your lifestyles right now. And majority of people, it's a smaller movement, and it's a tailored down version. So if somebody's saying, I want to do this for next month, I'm like, let's take it for the next 7 days. Firstly, because I think there's some element of frustration. Yes, granted. There's some element of frustration. There's some element of boredom at the current situation. And so people want to create a mass amount of change. The thing about a mass amount of change, as we've talked about and where I've discussed in some of these lives before, is that a mass amount of change isn't sustainable in a huge scale, which is why the whole go hard or go home isn't a success for everybody. Now, again, I've made a sweeping statement. You know, there are some outliers, there always are. However, generally speaking, a smaller time-based win, if you like, gives more reward. So let's take, if I go back to that initial client who talked about the weight loss, who's like, a kilo is not enough. And I kind of gave her some perspective and said, okay, if I was working with somebody in the studio, we'd say £1 over 2 weeks, £1 over 2 weeks would be above average. That'd be quite a sustainable weight loss. And she was like, that's nothing. It's like, how many weeks are there in the year? If you were to lose 5 so it'd be what, £1 a month over 12 months. It's just £2 short of a stone. How would you feel if you see yourself being a stone lighter? She was like, well, that's a lot, isn't it? I said, well, yeah, I would double that if you consider you want to do that, you know, every week. You want to double that kind of loss. How sustainable is that in terms of everything? And it would be a big win. It'd be a huge win. To lose that amount of weight over a year is a huge win. How sustainable and maintainable is it? So it gives someone a bit of perspective and say, well, actually, let's think about that. Do you want to do your last week? Imagine, because some people do, don't get me wrong, if you give someone a week, they will go hard and they'll feel a massive amount of success from it. But then it's like, okay, let's just look at the last 7 days, what you've had to do to achieve the amount of loss you have. Can you do that for another 52 weeks, or how many months we've got left, right? Or for however long? Can you do that? Can you sustain that? And then you can hear it, they'll see it, and they go, ooh. I was like, you may not have a Magnum for the next 12 months. How do you feel? It's always go to. If you're ever unsure, ask yourself the question, can I live without a Magnum? Or equivalent. Kate, could you live without having ice cream with cream on for the next 12 months? Waiting for that photo of that, by the way. Ice cream with cream on. Whew, it brings. I've not had that since I was a kid, Kate. I think my mum used. I said to you the other day, my mum used to have it. Right, if I said to you, Kate, that's it, no green mush, no ice cream with cream for the next 12 months. You will get you lost though. A lot of people are going to be like, no, you never. See, because never. You will never. Braveheart, Mel Gibson, channeling Mel Gibson. You will never take my ice cream. And that's the whole thing about how, if you think about it, the whole way that you fit as a whole when we approach nutrition is very much like that. It's like saying to somebody, of course, if I sit somebody down and say, of course you could lose so much weight in 12 months if you are disciplined to the highest level and you follow everything that I tell you every day, every hour, every week, every month for the next 12 months, you will have massive wins. You will have huge wins on a weekly basis. I can also guarantee you that you will have no friends. You will have no social life. your family might not like you if you spend any time with your family, because they sometimes might want to go somewhere where there's food, and you probably not interact with them for a bit. You've obviously probably fought with them every week because you've been hangry on a daily basis, and yeah, you're a bit moody as an individual because you've lost all joy because you've not had ice cream with cream on. How do you feel about that win? That would be a no for most people, I would hope. The reality is that doing things on a smaller basis, doing a small win, to saying to somebody, right, okay, let's again going back to the example I used. If you could have this, at a regulated basis throughout your year or your entire life, you could, when you say to somebody, you can literally, because I do say this, because it's true, you can literally have your cake, eat it, and lose weight on a smaller amount on a regular basis over a longer period of time. How much more rewarding is that, or how much is that within the balance of life, as opposed to option A, where you don't have anything. Kate's like still on this, like non-negotiable. True, and I wouldn't, as a coach at UFIT, I wouldn't try and negotiate that. I wouldn't just downright would not try and negotiate that, because it's, I always say, like, I would never ask a client to do something that I am also not willing to do myself. Rule 101. If I know and experienced and gone through the process myself and appreciate that actually the smaller wins, sustainable smaller wins, are more motivating, right, key, right, to where this is going to head, then yes, I'm going to talk you through what to expect, what to feel, map out the journey for you, because I've experienced it. And I also would never say to a female client, you may never eat chocolate again. If I'm wiping the crumbs of chocolate from my mouth, oh no, you may never eat it. Because firstly, it's not maintainable for somebody to go big win and give up on everything. And also it's hypocritical as a coach to also suggest something that they're not willing to do themselves. That's personal opinion. And also fact. So what does it create? So I kind of gave you a little bit. Big wins like losing, let's just say, I don't know. Let's just go with a kilo. Losing a kilo a week, in my experience, repeatedly for a long period of time is not achievable from a psychological point of view. Long term, past 3 or 4 weeks. Firstly, because of all the things the client has to do, like I just listed, all the things the client has to do, or we would have to do as people to manage that and help them support that happen. And also the chances of a rebound on that is pretty high, right? Kate's like, I'm already imagining it. Like, I would go insane. You'd probably be arrested, Kate, to be honest. No offence, you probably would. I mean, it would probably be me that would be like running. No. And then why do we say that? Why do we not do like mass like penned, shredded pictures, or label it as shredded as UFIT? Because it's got to be maintainable, and the small wins over a longer period of time help someone feel happier about their change. It helps and supports somebody along the way of mental change as well. So small wins and victories in terms, and I've gone kind of tack with, even though I was talking about it's not just about numbers, it's an easier one to explain, especially with that client I spoke to as well. Someone's mindset, someone's psychology towards change is maintainable in the sense of being able to support someone through the journey if it's slower, rather than drop someone out and go, boom, you're done. How do you feel? But I still feel like I'm a size 16. Like, that's literally how it feels, because someone hasn't adjusted to the journey. And so the smaller wins helps someone to manage that as a process. Hey, Nasreen. Nasreen, you're late. I'll just give you the Kate. So how to then set small wins. What I'm doing with a lot of my clients at the moment is giving them a bit of a taste of something to some degree. I'm going one way or another. So the small taste is to say, okay, rather than attempt to give me the next 2-3 weeks of your life, give me 7 days. Give me 7 days when you can do this. Give me 7 days when you know that you can make these commitments to me that are, and to yourself really, rather than me. Hey Pooja, to yourself, make these commitments on a short term, to yourself, and we make an agreement over it and say, right, okay, so over the next 7 days, this is what I'm going to do. X, Y, Z. And can you do these? Yes, yes. Okay, let's roll that one back. Yes and yes. Okay, so let's agree on that. Now, in this environment, yeah, for sure, as much as everyone wants to go ham and go, yes, I can do this for ages, the reality is that so much is changing in terms of emotion and actual environment. It's unrealistic. So the 7 days is like, someone can go in 7 days and go, right, next 7 days, what have I got? What have I got? Oh yeah, nothing. I'm at home. It's true. Most of the time. So you're right, okay, so I can't foresee this as a problem. Kids are now at home. Husband is going to be at work or upstairs in the attic working. I know there's nothing unforeseen in the next 7 days. I'm not going to decorate anything anymore. Not going anywhere else. I'm not going to visit any family, etc., etc. Right? We're in that place. The thing is that people, it's a small term now. So the small term success is, right, if I can give my coach 7 days and myself 7 days to achieve what I want in those 7 days, get an outcome, and then have another conversation in 7 days with me and say, yes, actually, okay, I can do this again. Or, do you know what? No. The thing is if someone can give me 7 days and themselves 7 days and achieve a small victory or a little win, what does that do? Imagine like your husband under the patio. Yeah, Kate's like, I have murdered everyone. Then what does that do for most people? I know it does for me. If I set myself, so this is insight. So as a coaching team, we set ourselves three tasks or goals to be done by within the week and a date for it to be done by, and we share it with the team. And the sense of reward, I'm like this. Ooh, I was so motivated. I did it. Didn't think I would. I got it done. It's kind of the agreement to myself and to, where I'm being held accountable to my team members and to myself that I'm going to get something done by a certain date. It's the same reason why as a team we do quarterly goals for all aspects of our lives and submit them so that it's known, so that we're held accountable to it. What does that do? We take a long-term goal and break it all the way down, right? All the way down to the next 30 days. So again, it's more achievable to think of something on a smaller scale and more rewarding to actually know you're building towards something now. As we do that, the same thing I just said, we don't do anything we don't ask other people to do. So if we're asking you guys to set goals that are 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, what are we doing? We're doing them ourselves. So we understand the process, understand how it feels, sense the reward system, etc. So to do the 7 days right now gives someone the sense of progress. Now, Saturday's live with Heather, if anyone's there, caught her, she was over my shoulder somewhere in the distance. Like I was Gandalf and she was a hobbit because we had to get the distancing thing in. So she's a very small person in the distance. We talked about happiness from progress, right? So this ties to this. The thing is, we go so big on progress. We go so big as people. Like, you can appreciate, we're like, what do I want a big damn house, for example. Or I'm starting my journey, I want to be size 8. By tomorrow. I'm exaggerating, and yet that's what we do as people. We aim high. And we seem to be taught, some of us are taught to aim high. Like aiming high is a sign of success. I'm not saying aim low, aim like you're never going to get there. What I'm saying is actually aim high and then work out what it is in between, right? Because what does that do? Adding in that live I did on last Saturday, it adds in a step progress or a change, right? It adds in a success, a win, a feeling of building and progress and moving towards something, right? It's even about when I talked about placing your goals in the future and working backwards, like I just said we do ours, like 90, 60, 30 days. It's the same principle. Small little wins towards a bigger goal is more rewarding and more successful than going, I didn't hit 7 kilos in a week. Oh, never going to get there. When actually it's like, okay, it's just sit down with your coach and say, right, my small wins want to be, because this is my end. Like, I'm sure I did it with I did with Kate and Mel this week, right? Kate told me her end goal. I went, no, that's not it. It's like a game of snakes and ladders. Yeah, that's a very good analogy, Kate. Kate sounds like snakes and ladders. Yeah. That's actually one of my favourite games as a kid as well. I remember the board. It was green and white. It had yellow snakes and yellow ladders. And green snakes. I played it with my dad. He always won. Well, I think he pretended he'd roll a number and go down a snake that was right. There was always the big one right towards the second square to the end. Yeah, I forgot about that. So yes, it is like a game of snakes and ladders. Because sometimes you've got to adjust the long-term goal. And the thing is, if you keep going, I want there, I want there, I want there, and you don't adjust to the smaller, like I just want to get to the next few squares, and then, oh, I'm moving up the board, then yes, I mean, life's always going to throw you a snake. That's a statement, isn't it? Put that on a t-shirt. Life is always going to throw you a snake. Like, whoops. It's like Snakes on a Plane. I still love, I don't care what anybody says, that is a good film. You want to not think for a bit, Snakes on a Plane. Well, that went weird. It is, I agree with Kate, it is like Snakes and Ladders. Like I said though, you always focus on the end goal, like getting to the top square is the end result, and actually the movement through is what gives someone a reward. Hey Hammer. How do I get this? So actually it's a small progress gives results, gives reward, gives a reward system, gives some validation that you're moving towards somewhere. All right. I have a thing about, I don't know why, there's some part of me, someone always says I want to lose £1 a week, something in the hairs in the back of my neck kind of stand up a little bit. And I don't know, it's because it's about weight loss. I think it probably is, actually. Great movie, Pooja. See, Pooja agrees with me. We should do like a YouFit Zoom, everybody watching the film at the same time night. It'd be messy as hell. And get Heather to organise it with the technology. She'd literally fall apart. She'd be like, I can't do it. Snakes on a plane. What was I saying? What was I saying? Lost the plot. Lost the plot entirely because I was saying agreed, good movie. Lost it. It's gone. I've just hooked into the idea of having a movie night now in my head. I'm just playing it, literally. It's quite funny. It is though. It is a build. It is totally the build towards something. And yeah, I was saying £1 a week. £1 a week. Somewhere. YouFit Gogglebox. Yeah, buddy. Some part of me still doesn't like it because £1 a week is even £1 a week is quite a high ask of anybody. Again, going back to £52 in a year is still a big ask, and yet it's there's a period of time which is banded around a lot as a win. Like a win would be get £1 a week, and for me now it's not. I like it from experience. I understand that £1 a week is not a win. It's not a small or a big win. It's an outcome even, I think, really, personally speaking. I think the small wins are things like I manage to sleep sometimes 8 hours 3 nights a week, because that changes someone's complete outlook on their life, right, in a massive way. That's a small win, really. Even 1 night's sleep for some people. A small win is spending time with their kids, where they're not telling them off about homework or trying to keep them occupied at this point in time. A small win is keeping sane within a whole week. A small win is finding something to do that keeps somebody entertained, like painting or creating, or that's a genuine small win right now. I mean, yes. So if someone's on a weight loss mission, rich money, buddy, a weight loss mission, then yes, I'm going to put a number in play if it's time to do that. Equally though, it's always rewarding for an individual, same way to build towards something. That it's about multiple different things in life that create the sense of achievement. I mean, if it's YouFit Gogglebox, I mean, what we could get Sam to watch. This is the biggest challenge. It isn't setting up the thing. It's what would Sam watch? Suits? Joe's probably watched it all by now. I can't imagine anything worse and more boring in my life, but that's what Sam watches. Yeah. Right. A recapage. So what are wins? People want to do weight, and it's true. It's not just all that though. Covered that. It's easy to think big. Think big. Think massive. Think massive turnarounds when actually right now everyone wants it. It's not always achievable though. In fact, it's never achievable. I think sometimes to go hard. My £600 life. I've never seen that, Kate. I've never seen my £600 life. Is that an actual thing? Oh wow. What channel? Kate messaged me. What channel is it on? I'd be fascinating. I went through what's realistic and why it's realistic and why we all want big and successful and massive, and actually the reality is that small and consistent is so much more rewarding over the long term. Maintainable both physically and mentally. Definitely mentally. Kate's like, I've killed my husband by now. I know, seriously, I know. What does it create? It creates momentum. It creates momentum when somebody makes something achievable, small, part of their life, easy, simple, and still moving towards something, right? So I talked about we make big goals and we don't work backwards. We make big goals and we don't go, okay, well, how's that in the next 7 days, next two weeks? We just go big or go home, right? That's the saying. But actually, go small all the time and you still get there, right? Bucking the trend on that one. And then I said life always throws snakes at you. No, I know. Well, it did come from the fact that Kate said that it's a game of snakes and ladders, and it is, because everyone always aims for square 100 as the end goal, but there's the 99 squares in between that have a whole heap of stuff that needs to be negotiated, and very rarely do we get that first ladder that goes all the way to the top right, if ever. Especially if you played with my dad, because he always got there. I talked about how to set them, and again, I just gave away a little bit. You work big and go backwards sometimes, or in fairness, sometimes it's just work flipping small and often. Every 7 days if it needs to be, because every 7 days you'll be in a situation where the environment or your emotions or something else has changed right now, and so for you need to change it to match to that. And that is it. So, it's a great day today. It's a great Thursday. This is a good Thursday. So enjoy your evenings. Oh, I got gut function tomorrow. When things go wrong. So, if you've got any gut function issues, that's what I'm covering tomorrow. That'll be a fun one. In the meantime, have a lovely evening, and I will catch you later.